Peekaboo. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the Teal Shirt Report. Sometimes peekaboo. Now you see me, now you don't. Okay. So thank you for tuning in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. We're sitting at episode show number 84. Episode show number 84. Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to everybody. 52 degrees in Jacksonville. It's probably our low temperature on Christmas morning. Not cold, but cool. Cool out there at 52. High today going to get up to about 77 degrees for the high. We expected fog this morning. I really didn't see much fog. Now the fog has gone by the boards, and we're mainly looking at clear skies and a cool day, and then pleasantly getting comfortably warm in the afternoon. High temperatures around 77, lows again late tonight, dropping down into the 50s. So, man, thank you for tuning in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Bring me the coffee, please. Man. Oh, man, and the coffee is outstanding here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Christmas morning, and away we go. And absolutely away we go on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Humbugg college football playoff. I love Christmas, but this college football playoff, it's interesting how it's been put together. Let me ask you a question. I just realized something over the last day or two. How many of you can raise your hands, how many of you do not have ESPN? Well, you can raise your hands. The games are on ESPN. I think maybe you could find them on YouTube if you buy a package, or I'm going to check that out. But ESPN owns this thing. They formulate this thing. They control the kickoff times. They control almost not every college, not every team, but a lot of this they control on. Hey, Stanford, you're going to the ACC. Stanford's got a pretty good basketball program too. But there's teams in conferences that probably have no business being in that conference. They should be out west somewhere. I think BYU's in the Big 12 now. That's not too bad. Utah, I think they're in the Big 12. The Pac-2 is Washington State and Oregon State. I'm not sure that conference really exists anymore. There was talk last year about they were going to get new teams in that conference. But in reality, and, I saw a note that JC had, put in the comments about conference championship games. And I don't know. I think devaluing the conference championship games is just a shame. It is a sad shame. We're going to talk about it here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 84. Jaguars continue to win. Man, they're on a hot winning streak. The Denver Broncos were on an 11-game winning streak, and the Jags beat them 34-20 last Sunday. And the memorabilia, baby, is coming out. It is coming out. Jags fans, let me ask you a question. Are the Jacksonville Jaguars fans, a lot of them in town, North Florida, or anywhere for that matter, are the bandwagon fans just simply now coming out of the woodwork? Give me your comments about that. Big Bill, Eagles fan, he had some nice things to say about the Jaguars. He really did. He liked the fact that the power rankings, the Jags were way up there in the top 10, or in a lot of cases, the top 5 of the NFL power rankings. I saw a power ranking that had the Jaguars number 3. Then I saw a power ranking that had the Jaguars number 2. When they come out with the top 10 power rankings of the, 32 NFL teams. So the Jaguars got 2 games left on the schedule. They got the Titans and the Colts, and then that's it. I think they win one of those. I think they're going to lose one before the playoffs, and that might not be good. That could be the difference in winning and not winning the division, because you got the Texans. They're just one game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. The Jaguars are 11-4. Can you believe? I guess the Texans are 10-5. I haven't looked at the standings this morning, but I guess the Jaguars are. Well, I know the Jaguars are 11-4, and the Houston Texans are 10-5. Colts have dropped down to, man, what are the Colts now? 8-7, and at one time they were like 8-2 or 8-3. At 8-7, they could probably still make a wild card playoff if they win their last 2 games, which one of their last 2 games is against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, to get a home playoff game, I think you're going to have to win the division, and to get a higher seed, you're going to have to win the division. The Jaguars have clinched a playoff spot, so they're in the playoffs either way. Going back to college football, the college football playoff, yeah, I can say bah humbug if I want. Otherwise, the Christmas holiday is great. We hit a low in Jacksonville of 52 cool degrees. I think it's bumped up to 53 now. High today will get up to 77 with clear skies, calm winds. Winds will be northwest at around probably 4 to 6 to 4 to 7 miles per hour. So the wind's not really a factor today at all in regards to anything. It's going to feel nice outside. I look out the window. The sun's shiny already here in the 8 o'clock hour on Christmas morning. We're going to talk about the Jacksonville Icemen too. They're 13-13. They played a game. They played a game a few days ago, and they lost to the Gladiators up in Duluth. I believe it was 3-2 up in North Georgia. Now they're 13-13, I believe. That was a tough loss for the Icemen. But, the Icemen, most every year, they start making moves. They improve the team as the season goes along. Let me see if I can find the latest stuff on the Icemen. Jaguars clinch playoff spot. Jaguars clinch playoff spot already now in 2025. Icemen hockey. Jacksonville Icemen are 13-13. The last time I checked, maybe I should just pull up the East Coast Hockey League standings and we'll know for sure, right? Just a few days ago, the Icemen lost up in Duluth. I believe it was 3-2 to the Atlanta Gladiators. I'm going to pull up the standings and see what we got. The Icemen, this is probably one of their slower starts in the East Coast Hockey League. They are 13-13 with 26 games in. The next game, I believe, is the day after Christmas. If the creek doesn't rise, I'd heard a story about some of the minor league players might have to go on strike. They don't make an incredibly lot of money. Some of the players make like in the $500, $550 range per week is what I was told in a story I saw. So there's a little bit of a potential strike for minor league hockey, not for NHL, but minor league hockey. We'll see if that happens, or maybe they get it all worked out and the games are played as they should be in our schedule. But the Jacksonville Icemen are 13-13. The next game will be Orlando. That's the day after Christmas. The guys with the Icemen getting Christmas Day off. The Orlando Solar Bears are scheduled to play at the Jacksonville Icemen at 7 o'clock p.m. at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm assuming some of the veteran guys with the Jacksonville Icemen and the other East Coast Hockey League franchises are making more money than that. Some make more than others. Just like the big leagues, but the money certainly isn't there like it is in the NHL. That's why when those players get called up to Major League Baseball, the NHL, they basically call it the show because the the money just explodes, and you get quite a hefty raise when you go from the minor leagues to the big leagues like the major leagues or the National Hockey League or the NHL. The East Coast Hockey League to me is almost like double A baseball because there is an American Hockey League, AHL, which would be probably considered triple A hockey. And then you go to the NHL after the AHL. Jacksonville Icemen scheduled to host the Orlando Solar Bears, 7 o'clock p.m. That game is this Friday night, December the 26th. Okay. So we're going to talk college football. We're going to talk North Florida entertainment as well. 53 degrees right now. We hit a low of 52 earlier this morning. High today, 77 is what it should get up to, about 77 under clear sunny skies. Late tonight, low temperatures dropping again into the 50s. So let's see what's going on here. 8 teams left in college football's playoff, right? I told you all the games, all of these 4 games are on ESPN. One is the Orange Bowl on December the 31st. Give me a moment here. Let's see. Okay. One of the games is on December 31st. And we've got it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Some people are listening to the audio platform. But the college football playoff, 8 teams left now. December the 31st of 2025 is the Cotton Bowl. And I know JC put some notes in the comments. We are actually 12 minutes in now. Let's talk about our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs, whether it's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate, there's a link for Saucer Realty and Capital on our website, on our homepage, right near or right around or right in the middle of the North Florida weather information on our homepage, either toward the tail end of the weather or right kind of slap dang in the middle of the weather. So check them out, Saucer Realty and Capital. I know Larry Saucer would probably like us all to pause, and I would too, pause to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and remember the true reason for the season. There's a Gator Bowl game on Saturday, December the 27th. That'll be this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Everbank Stadium. And I got Alex to double check the time because I've seen a couple of different times for this game. 1 4:30, 1 7:30. Alex, he's the man. Alex updated it. He told me it was 7:30. So there you go. Saturday, December the 27th, Gator Bowl game, not part of the playoff. Missouri will be there from the SEC. They finished their regular season at 8-4. They will play in the Gator Bowl against Virginia. It looks like Virginia was actually, what were they? 10-3, I believe. 10-3. And Virginia had a good season in the ACC, but they were absolutely not playoff bound. I'm pulling up the brackets. So we talked about Texas Tech playing Oregon in the Cotton Bowl. The winner of the Texas Tech Oregon game will play the winner of the Rose Bowl game, Alabama and Indiana. On the other side of the bracket, Ole Miss will play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. The winner of that game will play Miami of Florida versus Ohio State game. And let's take a look here. Georgia plays Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, the Ohio State Miami Florida game, I get kind of confused because that's the only game on December the 31st. That is the Cotton Bowl, actually. The Cotton Bowl, Ohio State versus Miami of Florida. We've updated the times now, and the game's Thursday. 7:30 is the game on the Cotton Bowl. That's a time. That's a prime time game, as you would guess from the people that own college football, the four-letter network. All these games are on the four-letter network. The Cotton Bowl, baby, right? Cotton Bowl, Ohio State and Miami on Wednesday, December the 31st. Kickoff time 7:30. The winner of that game will basically advance to the Final Four of college football. Then there's 3 games on January the 1st. Orange Bowl. This is a Thursday night, by the way. Thursday night, January the 1st. And that's New Year's Day. There's actually a 12 noon game. Texas Tech versus Oregon at 12 noon. Rose Bowl, and I might have got the time wrong before. We've seen different times of these games, and then I found a time that said Indiana and Alabama is in the Rose Bowl, 4:00 p.m. That'd be what, 1:00 Eastern time? No, that'd be 4:00 Eastern time. 4:00 Eastern time, 3:00 Central time. Rose Bowl, 4:00 p.m. Eastern time. Indiana ranked number 1 against Alabama, ranked 9th. In the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California on New Year's Day. That's on Thursday, January the 1st. Sugar Bowl will be the nighttime primetime game on Thursday night, January the 1st of 2026. Georgia versus Ole Miss. So there you go, JC. I think I got the bowl games right. And when you advance into the next round, I know there's a Peach Bowl coming up as well. There's obviously a Peach Bowl coming up. I think my screen did freeze this morning. Did my screen freeze? It looks like my screen did freeze. My camera and my screen has frozen this morning at about 16:30 in. So I don't know what happened. We'll just keep rolling on like we're on. Okay. Now we're at 7. Okay, we're in 17 minutes in. I don't know what happened. The screen froze. It broke up. Now we've returned. It looks like we're here. That's right. We're here. And there we are. Waving again to you. Okay. This is the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Looks like we're still on, but I was moving around the internet in some different windows, and maybe that froze up the screen. 53 degrees currently in Jacksonville. I had saw something about, we talked about East Coast hockey. The East Coast Hockey League is currently facing a labor dispute with the Professional Hockey Players Association, leading to a potential strike. The league claims to have proposed significant raises and a more relaxed schedule, while the players' union is concerned about health, safety, and working conditions. The situation is tense, and the outcome could impact the East Coast Hockey League's operations and the minor league hockey landscape. So there could be a minor league hockey strike. There could be. And I saw in some news reports that could affect the next game. The Icemen do play the day after Christmas. We told you a home game against the Orlando Solar Bears. So we'll see what happens with that. If the players strike or they don't strike or they get it, management clears the air and the disputes are settled. Can you imagine that, a minor league hockey strike? But, that would affect the fans. A lot of people love going to the Iceman games, and the East Coast Hockey League is a very popular minor league hockey league, but it's a good one. And they've got several, there's well over 20 franchises in the East Coast Hockey League all over the country, by the way. College football playoff, 8 teams left. December 31st, Cotton Bowl, Ohio State versus Miami of Florida. Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss versus Georgia. The Oregon game, I keep talking about Oregon. Oregon and Texas Tech play at 12 noon in the Orange Bowl. That's the early game on New Year's Day. That is the Orange Bowl game, by the way. Indiana versus Alabama is the Rose Bowl on January the 1st of 2026. The Rose Bowl is a kickoff on Thursday, January the 1st, 4 o'clock Eastern time. That'll be 3 o'clock Central time for UJC in the Central time. And there's 8 teams left in the playoff. In college football, they call it the playoff, not the playoffs. But in the playoff, there's 8 teams left. What is your opinion about the playoff? And for those of you that maybe do not subscribe to ESPN, what do you think about ESPN? The ones that own college football, the 4-letter network. If you don't have ESPN, maybe you're not watching the games. But I know there's other ways of getting ESPN. And I don't know all the ways. I know that you can watch games on YouTube from time to time, and I have done that. Then they'll block the games out. The Fox Network and CBS during the regular season, they have college football games, and I'm assuming some of the other networks will have some of the bowl games like CBS and Fox, but this 8-team playoff, all 4 of these games are going to be, I believe, exclusively on on ESPN. I'm sorry, ESPN, but basically ESPN and ABC are the same company. So if you have any news on where you can watch the games, or does ESPN just have it sewed up? They own it. They paid for it. They overpaid for it, probably in most cases. But you're down to 8 teams. Cotton Bowl, Ohio State versus Miami of Florida. Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss and Georgia will play each other in the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl has always been associated with the Southeastern Conference. In the old days, I say the old days, but it doesn't seem that long ago, the SEC champions almost every year were going to the Sugar Bowl, to play another major team from another conference. In this case, you got 2 SEC teams in the Sugar Bowl, and it's a playoff game. Ole Miss versus Georgia, Oregon versus Texas Tech. The Oregon versus Texas Tech game is a 12 noon kickoff in the Orange Bowl on Thursday afternoon, January the 1st of 2026. Rose Bowl, Indiana and Alabama on New Year's Day, Thursday, January the 1st, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time kickoff. Sugar Bowl's at night game on New Year's night. Georgia ranked 3rd. Ole Miss ranked 6th. That's an 8 o'clock p.m. kickoff Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central time. So that's how the playoff shakes out. Gator Bowl game is not part of the playoff, but it's got a couple of pretty good teams in it. And Alex Nunnery, I think he's going to one of the pep rallies. So we may get some interviews from the pep rallies. Check Alex Nunnery as part of our channel. The Teal Shirt Report podcast from BigJReport.com is our channel. Alex Nunnery put together a high school football report while he was, I believe, on vacation up in the Carolinas. And that is available now on our channel. Please subscribe to our channel. You never miss any of this incredible content, right? The Gator Bowl game will be this Saturday, December the 27th at 7:30 p.m. We got the kickoff checked out and updated. Gator Bowl game featuring Missouri 8-4 from the SEC, and Virginia. I believe Virginia is like 10-3, and they're ranked 19th. I believe Missouri at 8-4 is at this point unranked. At least in the poll I looked at. There's a couple of major polls, but it looks like Missouri is unranked, but they had a very good year at 8-4. Virginia 10-3 is ranked 19th in the country. Virginia from the ACC, and that's how the Gator Bowl game stacks up. Alex Nunnery may be at some of the Gator Bowl events, like the press, maybe the press conference, or probably better yet the pep rally. So if we get, if Alex gets a video going. And I think Alex was talking about interviewing some of the fans or band members or things of that nature. So make sure you check out our channel for Alex's videos, my videos, all part of one channel, the Teal Shirt Report podcast from BigJReport.com. Talking about the Mad Max Mix, Weebly.com. Check out Mad Max's show. His first show of the new year will be on Wednesday night. January the 7th. Mad Max starts at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's a great show. Check out Mad Max for, groups like Pink Floyd, the Allman Brothers. Max will play the Atlanta Rhythm section for me, Steely Dan. I've heard Max play CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And Max basically plays, and Leonard Skinner too. Max basically plays your music pop classics, your classic rock classics, and you can get your request on. Typically, Max will give you his phone number in the beginning of the show, and you can text him or call him during the madmaxmix.weebly.com. The show is on Wednesday nights. Max will be back on right after the holidays. And JC's show is the very next night on Thursday nights. That's right. Check out JC. Check him out. Hey, there we are again. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. And we got the signature coffee mug here. Here we go. Let me see if I can get it in the screen. BigJReport.com coffee mug. The coffee is brilliant. That's something they probably say in Europe. The coffee is brilliant. It's very good, I should say, very tasty. Make sure you tune in for JC live from the pub on Thursday nights after the holidays. 6 o'clock Central Time is when he cranks it up on Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Check out JC live from the pub. And JC, I know I got another request for you. The next time I talk to you, we'll get it, or even the night of the show. JC has a chat box at LakeUpAllTheHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good, where you can chat your request to JC, and we may just do that. JC, a couple of weeks back, played Gordon Lightfoot's Sundown for me. JC had another great show, I understand, right before Christmas on Thursday night. But check out JC live from the pub every Thursday night. JC will be back with you after the holidays. Check him out on Thursday night, 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time when the show starts. And he plays a lot of requested music on of course, live from the pub with JC on Thursday nights at LakeUpAllTheHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. So those are the sponsors. We talked about college football. Give me your opinion. Do you like the setup of the college football playoff now? And JC, I know you made some comments about that the Tulanes, teams like the Tulanes and the James Madisons would be no more in the future, that they will up this. I don't see how they're not going to be a part of it if they, like win their league and have a great season, because they are Division I. They might be considered mid-major, but if you go to 16 teams, I think it's probably going to keep a mid-major or two around in the tournament. If there's 16 teams, Notre Dame's in there. And let me ask you this, JC. I'm not trying to, kind of get into your roots and your beliefs, but how many games does Alabama have to lose not to be in the playoff if they go to 16 teams? And these conference championship games, the thing about it is, if my Florida Gators lose more than 2 games, I don't want them in the playoff. They could squeak in maybe with 3 losses, but probably 1 or 2 losses. And it's not been a great season. It's been a good season, but not a great season. And where do you draw the line on the playoffs? Playoff. So that's my feeling about it. They go to 16 teams. There's going to be more teams, maybe more SEC teams, more Big Ten teams. But I think you have to say, hey, the mid-majors have a place. I've always thought of it like this. If a coach addresses his team, whether he's coaching, we know Billy Napier's going to James Madison because the current James Madison coach Chesney, and they got beat in the first round of the playoff, as you know, by Oregon by, a pretty substantial score. James Madison, or, any mid-major team, Tulane, that John Summerall's leaving and going, he's the head coach of the Florida Gators now. Tulane's season is over after they got beaten by pretty convincingly by Ole Miss. But if you got a coach coaching a mid-major team, when he addresses his team before the season starts, and he says, hey, if we win every single game, we're going to be in the playoff. And when I say every single game, I'm talking about the regular season, winning the conference championship game, and maybe even a play-in game is the way I would set it up, where the mid-majors have an opportunity if they win their conference, and of course, maybe they even win every game except for maybe they lose one, they can still get in with 0 losses or 1 loss, still get in the playoff. JC says 16 teams. I guess that's going to happen next year, this year. It's all about the games. I mean, ESPN wants more games. They own college football. They want more games. They want the games to be good. There were a couple of games. I didn't watch the Oregon game. There was a lot of points in that game. Oregon scored like 51. What would James Madison have? 34 in that game. So I'm not going to say it was a complete blowout. The Ole Miss victory over Tulane was a complete blowout. But where do you draw the line on all this? 16 teams, 12 teams. I think it should be 8 teams with a couple of play-in games. And then my opinion is these conference championship games, let's take a look at who's in the playoff now. Georgia won their conference. I guess if Oregon was still in the Pac-12, they would have won their conference, but now they're in the Big Ten. So college football has changed because of the people, basically, for the most part, the people that own it, the 4-letter network, they got more power, it seems like, than the college football presidents themselves. You take a look at the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State was runner-up in the Big Ten. Miami, Florida did not win the ACC. Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss did not win the SEC. They ended up in a 4-way tie for the regular season. But when you go to the conference championship game, Georgia won the conference by winning the conference championship game over Alabama. Oregon versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech won the Big 12. And I think that's prestigious. They should be in the playoff, winning the Big 12. Oregon, great team, great record. They've been a college football power for most years, the last several years, actually. The Oregon Ducks with their colorful green uniforms or whatever color they are. But Texas Tech won the Big 12. Indiana won the Big 10, and they're ranked number 1 in the country. Alabama lost the SEC championship game, but that don't matter, does it? The conference championships, JC's trying to say in the comments, they don't matter. They don't matter too much. It's another game. I think that's where they're making a crucial mistake. I mean, why did they start conference championships to begin with? I mean, in my mind, you could look at it as, hey, these should be first round playoff games. Maybe only the conference champions get in and a wild card or two. I don't know. Give me your comments. It's always a great debate. College football has been a great debate over the years. Years and years ago, when I started watching college football, there was no playoff. You had the bowl games on New Year's Day, and then they said, okay, well, this team is undefeated, or they got 1 loss, but they had the best team. They won their bowl game. They win the national championship. There were even split national championships, I think, back in the early 90s. Was it the early 90s when Georgia Tech, coached by way back then, Bobby Ross, actually split, had a co-national championship with Colorado, I believe. So, excuse me. So, back in the early days, back when I was a kid, they didn't have a playoff. They had bowl games. They had bowl games back then, like they do now. They've got more bowl games now than they've ever had. Notre Dame elected not to go to a bowl when they were not invited to this 12-team college football playoff. Maybe Notre Dame was robbed. I was even thinking Alabama might not get into this thing, but we're talking about Alabama, a franchise of college football, a big-time franchise. Georgia is too. But JC, how many games would Alabama have to lose not to make the playoff? Not to make the playoff. I'm talking about Alabama or a few of these others, the blue bloods of the red bloods or the blue bloods of college football. So that's kind of my take today. We'll take a look at some concerts. Barry Manilow, of all people, and I'm quite interested in this, to tell you the truth. Barry Manilow Um, is like 82 years old. He's still in concert. If anybody goes to this show, and they will, there'll be a lot of people there. It's at the Star Veterans Memorial Arena. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Barry Manilow because he had a lot of great songs, particularly back in the 70s and I guess 80s, but mainly in the 70s. Great songs too. I mean, I've caught myself singing along to some Barry Manilow songs when I was a kid back in the 70s. This guy is 82 years old now. 82 years old. I saw the advertisement that this is being billed as the last Jacksonville concert of Barry Manilow. And I would say there's a good chance of that. He's 82 years old. Maybe this is the last go around for Barry Manilow. We'll take a look at the concerts that we do have. Barry Manilow is the next one up on our concert listings. You know, Three Dog Night was in Columbus, Georgia. They were in Orange Park a few days ago at the Thrasher Horn Center. Let's see the next show up. You can go to our website at bigjreport.com and our Neighbors 2 section. There's also links for Mad Max's show on Wednesday nights and JC's Live from the Pub show on Thursday nights. Links for those shows like the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com and JC's Live from the Pub show on Thursday nights at LakeUpAllTheHits.com. You go to our website at bigjreport.com, go to the Neighbors 2 section, and there's links for both of these shows. Scroll the Neighbors 2 page at bigjreport.com. You'll find concerts. You'll find links for the Mad Max Mix and also JC's Live from the Pub show. Here's the concerts coming up. The next one is Barry Manilow. And, you know, it's not at a small venue. It's going to be at the Memorial Arena. This guy has clout. He's been around for years and years and years. And I really don't know. I could guess it's an older crowd that will go. And my demographic would be part of this crowd. There's no doubt about it. I guess I'm calling myself older now, older than I was, right? Everybody gets older every day. Every year, everybody gets older. Barry Manilow is not an exception to that. He's, I believe, 82 years old or right near 82, because when I saw the year he was born and I did some quick math, man, Barry's 82 years old, but nothing against him. Great songs. He's got a heck of a catalog. Barry Manilow will be performing at the Star Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida on Monday evening, January the 12th of 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. Singer Judy Collins, who, I know Judy's got to be up in age too. Judy Collins from Both Sides Now fame will be in concert on Wednesday night, January the 14th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. The Ponte Vedra Concert Hall is getting a lot of shows now. I think Daly's Place has one more show here at the end of the year, and then they're going to shut down for 2 years because of the work going on right next door at Everbank Stadium, where basically the football stadium of the future here in Jacksonville, the Everbank Stadium. Daly's Place will shut down for a couple of years, but man, there's plenty of venues around Northeast Florida and North Florida and surrounding areas. Again, Barry Manilow will be performing at the Star Veterans Memorial Arena right here in Jacksonville, Florida on Monday evening, January the 12th of 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. Singer Judy Collins from Both Sides Now fame will be in concert on Wednesday night, January the 14th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Also, tickets have been on sale for a while now for the Beach Boys. They may be even sold out for all I know. Sometimes when the shows sell out, then you go on the StubHubs and the different online sites to find tickets, and usually the prices are higher on those sites because most of those sites have bought the tickets from the original venue, right? Tickets on sale at last report for the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys are also going to be in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall on January the 26th of 2026. JC's been to a Beach Boys show before, our executive producer. He knows what they're about. Great music. Man, the Beach Boys put some great songs out back in the 60s, 70s. Kokomo, was later, many years later. So the Beach Boys, they got a great catalog of songs. And again, the Beach Boys will be performing in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall on January the 26th of 2026. JC, you know about Carla Bonoff, had the song personally back in the like early to mid 80s. I think personally by Carla Bonoff might have been 82, 83, somewhere in there. Carla, with her song personally, I'm talking about. Carla Bonoff is still touring. Bonoff, Carla Bonoff will be performing on Saturday, February the 7th of 2026 p.m. at 8 o'clock p.m. And you guessed it, Carla Bonoff at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Here's another good one, Christopher Cross 2026. Christopher Cross 2026, as Christopher Cross is performing on Thursday night, March the 5th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Florida Theater in downtown Jacksonville, Florida. Also, Foreigner with Lou Gramm and Night Ranger will be at the St. Augustine Amphitheater in St. Augustine, Florida on Friday night, April the 17th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. And now here's a big one, Journey. And this has got to be their last tour. It's titled the Final Frontier Tour. Journey, the Final Frontier Tour. Journey will be performing on Saturday night, May 16th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. This one at the big ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Those are the shows. Jacksonville Jaguars, they got a game coming up this weekend. They got like 2 games left on the schedule. They've already clinched a playoff spot. It's great. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 11-4. They're going to be in the playoffs. The only question is, will they hang on and win the division? They do have, the Jacksonville Jaguars actually have, let me take a look here. The Jacksonville Jaguars actually have a 1-game lead over the Houston Texans right now. And Houston's hot. Houston's won 7 in a row. I believe it is. Jacksonville has won 6 games in a row. Houston 7 games in a row. And these 2 teams could end up, they're not playing again. They've already played their 2 regular season games. But these 2 teams could actually end up playing each other in the playoffs. And then I had New York Joe sent me a message, said, "Man, you guys better win the division, or you're gonna end up playing the Buffalo Bills or somebody like that." Buffalo's going to be mad. They're not going to be the division winner. It doesn't look like. It looks like New England will win the division. Buffalo will probably finish second and be a very, what we call a very high wild card. Christmas morning, December the 25th. And we're making this podcast it's about the 9 o'clock hour now. We got sunshine out there. Been cool in the 50s this morning. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. So today is Thursday, December the 25th. Got the Gator Bowl this Saturday, December the 27th. The Jaguars will play on Sunday. And let me take a look here. Got some football coming up. Jacksonville Jaguars got 2 games left on the regular season schedule. They got the Titans, but first they got the Colts. I believe the Colts game is coming up this week. Okay, here I was able to pull up the information. I've had some internet issues this morning, and it's a little bit different podcasting. It's not the radio transmitter or tower anymore, but it's internet. Okay, so we've got the Colts Jaguars game up as far as taking a look at the point spread of the game, and we'll do that now. Let me make sure I'm still rolling pretty good on the podcast, and we are at the moment. My goodness. Okay, we're rolling pretty good with the podcast. Okay, we're still rolling. Let me see, JC. We are We are about 44 minutes in now. 44 minutes in on the podcast. Okay, so let's go. We're still rolling. We're still rolling at the present time. I think I've had some internet issues where it looked like the screen froze up. So I hope we're still actually broadcasting now in the 44th minute. So let's take a look at the Jags game as far as the line. The game this week, this Sunday, December the 28th of 2025, is at 1 o'clock p.m. It's a road game at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Colts are 8-7. I think the Colts are still mathematically eligible for the wild card, but it would mean they'd have to beat the Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars go on the road to Indianapolis with an 11-4 record. The Indianapolis Colts are 8-7. Okay. And the line on the game, Jacksonville is a 6.5-point favorite. Does that surprise you? Well, it shouldn't. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people have the Jaguars in the top 10, the top 3, even the top 2 of the NFL power rankings. But here we go. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6.5-point favorite going to Indy. Now, this is the trap game. Jaguars on a huge 6-game winning streak. Could this be the game that will cost the Jacksonville Jaguars the AFC South Division? Even though the Colts will not catch the Jaguars, this is like a knockout game for the Jaguars. Indianapolis, our source is saying our source is not too fond of the Jaguars, and he's not completely sold. And I'm not the source, but our source is not completely sold on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5 points. Mr. Philip Rivers might be starting to get a little more warmed up now as the Colts quarterback. He had actually, even though they lost the game to the, the 49ers the other day on, I guess that was Monday Night Football, like the 49ers won that one 48-27 over the Colts. And that victory for the 49ers over the Colts actually helped clinch a playoff spot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are 11-4. The Colts are 8-7. Now, if the Jaguars could win up in Indy, that could be really a knockout blow for the Colts. And in the same vein, the Jaguars would be that much closer to clinching the AFC South Division title, and that's what you want to do. However, this is what our source is saying. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6.5-point favorite. Our source is saying Indianapolis will win the game, cover the spread, and the total will go over. How about those apples? Man, can you believe that? So that would be disappointing if the Jaguars go to Indy and lose. But that is a very big possibility when you go on the road. You're on a winning streak. Teams are gunning for you. They're not going to take the Jaguars lightly anymore. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 11-4. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts are on a huge losing streak. These are two teams going in complete opposite directions. However, this is a bump in the road. This is a fork in the middle of the road that you got to get through. Give me your comments. Will the Jaguars win this game up in Indiana? They're favored. What do we say the Jaguars were favored by? Man, let's take a look at that again. The Jacksonville Jaguars are favored by 6.5 points. Our source thinks, though, that Indianapolis will win, cover the spread, and the total will go over. Is this a game where the defensive line of the Jaguars, they just don't quite come up with the huge effort? Is the Colts offensive line getting better? I think what I've seen with the Jaguars defensive line, either they have difficulty when they go up against a really good offensive line, or the effort's not there, as it is in some games, or maybe it's a combination of the two. I think the Jaguars have great defensive backs. I love our linebackers, Foyce Alakun, Ventrell Miller, Devin Lloyd. How did he get snubbed from the Pro Bowl with like as many interceptions? He had some, I believe he had a couple of pick sixes for touchdowns, which actually led to the Jaguars winning a couple of games earlier in the season. I know he had injury issues where he missed a couple of games here and there, but getting snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Matisic, the long snapper, made the Pro Bowl for the Jaguars, but I believe at this juncture, he's the only Jaguars player that's got in the Pro Bowl as of December the 25th of 2025. For your comments, leave them. Leave your YouTube comments down below in the comment section. But our source likes Indy. This could be a big trap game for the Jaguars. They play at Indianapolis, and then the final game will be against the Tennessee Titans in the final week of the season. That might be a game. If the Jaguars lose to the Colts, they're desperately going to need to beat the Titans. And the Titans are actually playing better football as well. The Titans just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs. They're 6-9. Patrick Mahomes, a couple of weeks ago, had an ACL injury, and he's pretty much out for the season now. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Thank you for joining me on Christmas Day. I'm your host, Scott, for the Teal Shirt Report podcast from BigJReport.com. I want to thank our executive producer, JC, for helping put all this together. JC, thank you so much. I want to thank Alex Nunnery. I think Alex is back from his vacation now up in the mountains. He's back, and you can see him on our YouTube channel. The latest video, Alex did kind of a summary of our wrap-up of high school football, congratulating the Reigns Vikings on a state championship. Other state champions include Lake Mary up in Georgia, Carver High School, who went 15-0 in the Columbus, Georgia area. They won their state championship game. Worth County is crowned state champions up in Georgia. And there's, several other state champions across Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and all across the country. We congratulate all the state championship teams all across our areas and, surrounding areas as well. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 84. We've been eloquently produced by our executive producer, JC. Also want to thank Alex Nunnery and John Gaylor, our correspondent and contributor to BigJReport.com and to the Teal Shirt Report podcast and our Big J Report Facebook group. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 84. I'm your host, Scott, and you know the story. I'm out. Thank you for tuning in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Go Jags. Duval. Do you remember Coach Liam Cohen's first Duval? He's improved it since then, though. Duval. Do you remember that? You guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Teal Shirt Report podcast. I'm Scott, your host. I am out. Hey, enjoy Christmas. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I got to tell you, I love Christmas. I really do. I always have. I always will. This has been a quieter Christmas and a quieter Thanksgiving for me than normal. But you guys have a great day. Enjoy your holiday. And thank you for giving, basically thank you for subscribing to our channel. I think we got over 2,000 subscribers now. Thank you so much. And please give us your comments on anything we've discussed. Jaguars, NFL football, the college football playoff. Yeah, I got my opinions about the college football playoff. And if you're wondering, if you don't have ESPN, how will you watch these games? Are there other ways to watch them? You guys have a great day. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you again soon. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you listening in and watching.